All right, this is Unit 8, Formative 2, Video 1, Solve by Factoring. So we've already factored, now we're actually going to solve for the x. Okay. All right, so the difference in what we just tested over and now is the equal sign. So is this right here, equals 0. So first thing you need to remember is whenever we solve, we need to make sure it's equal to 0, okay? And this is equal to 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this side and we're going to factor it, just like what we did last formative, okay? Except now we have an equal over there, okay? So now we're going to take a times c, which is 6, and I want factors of 6 that add up to -7. That would give me -1 and -7, okay? Now, since it's a 1 up here, remember, since that's a 1, we can go ahead and put in our -1 and our -6, okay? Now, that's the old part. The new part is we need to actually solve this. So we're going to take each set of parentheses and set it equal to 0 and solve for each one, okay? So we're going to look at this one right here. So we have a minus 1 equals 0. So I want to solve for a. So I'm going to add 1, and a equals 1, and there's my answer. Now we're over here. We have a minus 6 equals 0. So I'm going to solve for a. So that means I'm going to add 6 to both sides, and I get a equals 6. Okay, and these are both my answers. Okay, a equals 1 and a equals 6. Okay, let's do another one. Now this one, you notice, is not solved for 0, so we need to move the term over and put it in order. So we have n squared. Now my b term comes next, so that would be a minus 10n, because remember you're crossing the equal sign, change the sign, plus 24 equals 0, okay? So let's do our two parentheses. I'm going to split up my n, okay? And I want factors of a times c, which is 24, that add up to -10. Okay, and I get -6 and -4. That's going to give me -10. Okay, since it's a 1, I'm just going to go ahead and plug those in. Okay. So now they're factored, now I can solve. So I have n minus 6 equals 0, and I have n minus 4 equals 0. So I'm going to solve both of them. I'm going to add 6, and n equals 6. I'm going to add 4, and n equals 4. Those are my two answers. All right, next one, again, not in order, so I need to take my 12 and move it over. It's the c term. So I have 5k squared minus 4k, and when I move my 12 over, it becomes a negative. All right, so a times c, so it's -60, and I want to find factors that equal -4. Okay. Split them up. Okay. Which is 7, -6 and 10, which is 4, but I want a -4, so I'm going to split them up. Okay, so here we go. 5 will go into -10, so that's my -10, and that's my 6. We know 6 just falls in there, and then 5 times -2 is -10. Okay, so now I'm going to take my two parentheses and separate them. So I have 5k plus 6 equals 0, and k minus 2 equals 0. This is the easy one. I'm going to go ahead and do that one. So k equals 2 is one solution. This one I have to separate. And then I have to divide by 5. So I get k equals 6 over 5. Let me do that a little better. So k equals 6 over 5, -6 over 5. And those are my two answers. All right, so if I move my 0 over, it doesn't change it. So it does have a GCF of m. So I'm going to factor an m out. Okay, now this one, we have this set of parentheses that we're going to set equal to 0. Okay, but I also have this m I need to set equal to 0. Okay. Now this is done because it's solved. This one I need to subtract 5, so I get m equals -5. Okay, so those two, my solutions are 0 and -5. And that's it.